Hi everybody, this is my second video on my epic journey to Antarctica. In the first video, I gave you an introduction to the Antarctica. Let me just refresh your memory. The Antarctica is in the southern hemisphere, a continent surrounded by the Southern Ocean. The Scottish cartographer John George Bartholomew named it as Antarctica in 1890. Antarctica don't have any inhabitants. Just the scientist who is doing the experiments there stays there. Other than that, around 30,000 people visit Antarctica every year. The best time to visit Antarctica is during the southern austral summer months from October to April, when the ice in the Southern Ocean melts and the ships can navigate. But the best months to visit Antarctica is definitely December and January. I went along with a ship called Ocean Diamond by the Quark Expeditions. Each type of expedition has its own priorities and advantages. Quark Expedition is basically a tour operator promotes Antarctica in a scientific level. So there are lots of lectures, and one of the finest polar library in the world is in their ship, Ocean Diamond. Those who are interested can utilize it to the fullest potential. In the Ocean Diamond, we were about 180 tourists and 140 cabin crew, including the staff from the Quark Expedition. Actually, Antarctic expedition or journey, for that matter, is a very, very expensive affair. That is the reason why it is said that it's a once in a lifetime thing to do. In order to reduce the expenses, I booked in a 4 sharing room in the lower part of the ship's deck. Why I posted in the Antarctic forums and also in the internet regarding my journey to Antarctica. Many people who has been to Antarctica advise me about only one thing, that is, from Buenos Aires you need to take the national carrier of Argentina, Aerolíneas Argentinas, and that is a monopoly route to Ushuaia, from where you embark the ship. It is one of the most unreliable airline in the world. Thinking that you will be reaching on time, if you happen to take the flight in the morning and board the ship in the evening, you are thoroughly mistaken. The chance of missing the ship is almost certain. So it's better that you reach Ushuaia at least 1 or 2 days in advance. And I followed it. Unfortunately, many missed the flight. They could not board the vessel. So the Quark Expedition team upgraded in the quad room to double room at the top. I was given a room in the 6th floor of the ship on the top near the bridge. Bridge is the navigation room of the ship. My room was just across the bridge. So I used to go every now and then to the bridge, watch the fascinating sights of Antarctica from the bridge itself, and also hear the stories of the veteran sailors who has been to Antarctica many, many times. It's a very unique experience. Though I never realized it was watched by the crew of the Quark expedition, and I was awarded the best traveler to Antarctica on that ship. It was a exhilarating experience to be awarded as the best traveler to Antarctica. One of the most important things when you go to places like Antarctica where the climate is extreme cold is to dress properly. As the dictum says, there is no bad weather but bad clothing. So, ideally, how to dress for such cold climates? We may presume and think that 2-3 layers of very thick dresses will help you to fight the chilly winter of Antarctica, but not. Actually, it is better to dress yourself in layers in order to protect the harsh, chilly climate. First, you wear the thermal inners, then over that your normal dress, and then over that woolen jacket, and the top of it the parka supplied by the Quark expedition. The advantage of such a clothing is the air layer in between the dress will give you an insulation, thermal insulation to protect you from the cold. Then you wear the normal gloves in the hand and then thermal gloves, and in the feet you have the thermal socks and then Wellington boots. Wellington boots are specially designed for this climate and to walk in Antarctic snow. Actually, it's a single molded shoes without any lace, reaches up to your knee joint. The only problem with the Wellington boots is to get your feet inside and take your feet outside. Then you have the goggles to protect from the UV light and also thermal caps. Actually, we start at 4 o'clock in the evening from the Ushuaia port. Then there is a Beagle Channel separating the Terra del Fuego from Ushuaia. And through the Beagle Channel, you enter into the world's most turbulent waterway, the Drake Passage. Drake Passage is around 1,000 kilometers long, and the first port of entry in Antarctica is the South Shetland Islands. It's a group of islands. From there, only 120 kilometers to the Antarctic Peninsula, that is Antarctic continent per se. The moment you enter the ship and settles down, the first thing is a security safety drill. What is the security of the ship like, and what are the things to be done in case of an emergency? How evacuation is done. And there is a drill you religiously adhere to. And also, there is a biosecurity briefing. What is biosecurity briefing? Antarctica is a pristine environment, and under no circumstances any foreign things from outside Antarctica should get introduced into Antarctican environment. It's very, very, very important. Hence, your backpack will be sterilized, vacuum cleaned before you take it to the Antarctic soil. Another thing is, before entering into the Zodiac through which you cruise the Antarctic waters, your shoes is disinfected first and cleaned in toto. These are very important instructions to be followed on boarding the Zodiac and also from coming back to the ship from the Zodiac. Biosecurity measures are implemented in strict, rigid form. Hence, the pristine environment of the Antarctica is maintained as such after all these years, in spite of 30,000 people visits it every year. Another important aspect is only ships which is less than 200 people can dock in the Antarctic islands. And also, at a time, only 100 people should enter into an Antarctic soil. Once they return, then only the next 100 can go. Under no circumstances, between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., nobody should go to Antarctic soil. Next thing to be followed is, when you goes close to the penguins, seals, you should always maintain a 5-meter distance. You should always be away from the penguin. Minimum distance to be kept is 5 meters. These are the things to be followed in a religious manner. And Quark expedition, under no circumstances, violate any of the rules and regulations chart out by the Antarctic Treaty, which binds the activities on Antarctica. We reached the first islands of the South Shetlands, that is HO group. There is 4 different groups of islands in the South Shetlands. We reached HO group, and we are planning to dock on the Barrientos Island. Barrientos is a very small island, around 2 kilometers long and half a kilometer width. But it has got one of the biggest penguin rookeries, this colony, among the South Shetland Islands. Thousands of Gendu and Chinstra penguins are there, along with elephant seals, skuas, and giant petrels. We cruise through the zodiac. I told you about zodiac in the last video itself. Zodiac is a air-filled, inflated, small boat. The advantage of zodiac is that the chance of toppling is very, very less. Even if one or two air pockets are punctured, it will stay afloat. So it's a very safe thing to travel in Antarctic waters with the zodiac boats. Around 9 to 15 people can enter the zodiac boat, and there is a way with which you enter and come out of the zodiac boats. So on the third day morning, we had the first encounter of snow and also of the Antarctic island per se, the Barrientos. We have been briefed about the program, what we are going to do in the island, and when we will be coming back. It's a 4-hour program where we will be spending 2 hours on the island, seeing the various penguins there. Then the other birds like petrels and skuas, and looking at the rocky outcrops with mosses all around, and there are small lichens here and there. That is the only green thing in Antarctica. Once we finish the Barrientos Island, we are taken for a zodiac cruise around the island and also in the Southern Ocean, where we can spot the humpback whales with its sprout. It's a typical sprout for each type of whales. So, sighting the sprout, we can spot which type of whale is this. Then there are southern elephant seals, crab-eater seals all around. Once we see and come back, every evening there is a briefing of the sites we have seen and about its importance and what is to be understood about that. Next day, program is also discussed. After that, dinner is served. Then there is a bar talk. That is, veteran sailors will tell you about their experiences, the stories, and the hardships they underwent in the 50s and 60s of Antarctic expeditions. The spine-chilling stories, very, very different from the voyage we take now. The Barrientos Islands are the eye-opener to Antarctic. We landed in the southern shore where there is some devoid ice area, and after that we have to have a short walking through the loose ice in order to reach the penguin rookeries. Even before we reach the island, Our Quark expedition guides are already there. Landmark the area where we can go, where we can watch the penguins, and also to brief us what to do and what not to do. Our first day was very, very memorable. Seeing the Antarctic ice for the first time, seeing the penguins for the first time, seeing the pristine environment for the first time, in absolute stillness. Silence prevails all around. Nothing disturbs your mind other than the squeaky call of the penguins. The ice shelves, cracking icings, the ice falls into the sea. The dazzling display of light on the ice flats and ice plains is a thing to be watched. The beauty prevails all around, and you are stunned at this exquisite beauty prevailing all around. As there is no night in Antarctica during the austral summer when tourists go there. It's around 20 to 22 hours of sun and sunshine all around. Even the so-called night is just like a very light to light. Hence, your concept about time and space slowly goes out from you to oblivion. You are no longer aware of the time and the space that surround you. An eternal bliss dawns on you. And that is why you travel to Antarctica. Thank you for watching this video. And in the next video, I will brief you more about the sites in Antarctic Peninsula per se. Till then, take care. Bye.